Good morning, dear students. Today we are going to talk about modal verbs of obligation, must and have to. Must and have to are modal verbs in English that are used to express obligation or necessity. They are both used to indicate that something is required or necessary to be done. Must can imply that the obligation comes from internal motivation, while have to is often used to express external requirements or obligations, such as rules and laws. Both must and have to are followed by an infinitive verb. Must behaves like a typical modal verb. It doesn't change according to the person and doesn't require an auxiliary verb to form negatives or questions. Have to conjugates like a normal verb form, requiring the auxiliary verb do for negatives and questions. Both must and have to express obligation or necessity, but there are some small differences. Let's check them specifically, starting with the modal verb must. Must is a modal verb. Modal verbs don't take any endings like s, ed, or ing. Modal verbs are followed by the base form of another verb. Must do, must be. Modal verbs make questions by inverting the subject and the modal verb. Must you? Examples with must. Passengers must present their tickets to the ticket officer. You must remember to submit the documents by the deadline. The basic structure for must is subject plus must plus base verb. For instance, I must study for the exam. You must respect others. He must finish the project today. She must finish the project today. It must finish the project today. We must arrive on time. They must follow the rules. The negative form of must is must not. Must indicates obligation and must not indicates prohibition. Must not is contracted as mustn't. It means that something is forbidden or prohibited. And the structure is subject plus must not or mustn't plus base verb. Let's see these examples. I must not be late. You must not touch the wires. He must not forget the appointment. She must not forget the appointment. It must not forget the appointment. We must not waste time. They must not run in the hallway. In negative with contractions, we have I mustn't be late. You mustn't touch the wires. He mustn't forget the appointment. She mustn't forget the appointment. It mustn't forget the appointment. We mustn't waste time. They mustn't run in the hallway. In questions with the modal verb must, the subject and must change position. So the structure is as follows. Must plus subject plus base verb. Look at the following examples. Must I do my homework now? Yes, you must. No, you mustn't. Must you leave early? Yes, I must. No, I mustn't. Must he wear a uniform? Yes, he must. No, he mustn't. Must she wear a uniform? Yes, she must. No, she mustn't. Must it wear a uniform? Yes, it must. No, it mustn't. Must we submit the form today? Yes, we must. No, we mustn't. Must they take the test tomorrow? Yes, they must. No, they mustn't. Now we will talk about the verb have to. Have to is not exactly a modal verb. Have takes endings like ing. For example, having. Although the present and past are irregular. Have or has and had. Have to is formed by using have plus infinitive. For instance, have to do, have to be. Questions with have to require do as an auxiliary verb. Do you have to? Examples with have to. I have to go to the grocery store on my way home from school. They have to ask their classmates for help with the assignment. Do you have to work late today? When using the verb have to express obligation, we typically use have to or has to for third person singular. This is similar to must, but have to is often used for external obligations, such as rules, laws, or requirements. The basic structure for have to is subject plus have to or has to plus base verb. Look at these examples. I have to wake up early for work. You have to wear a uniform at school. He has to take his medicine every day. She has to complete a project before Friday. It has to be repaired soon. We have to follow the new guidelines. They have to attend the meeting at 9. To form negative with have to, it is necessary the auxiliary verb do or does, following by the particle not. So its structure is as follows. Subject plus don't have to or doesn't have to plus base verb. Don't have to means something is not necessary, but it is optional. To form negative, we need the auxiliary verb don't or doesn't. Let's see the following examples. I do not have to work on Sundays. You do not have to bring your own food. He does not have to go to the doctor. She does not have to wear formal clothes at work. It does not have to be done today. We do not have to pay for parking. They do not have to arrive early for the event. With contractions, I don't have to work on Sundays. You don't have to bring your own food. He doesn't have to go to the doctor. She doesn't have to wear formal clothes at work. It doesn't have to be done today. We don't have to pay for parking. They don't have to arrive early for the event. In question, the auxiliary verb do and does goes at the beginning of the sentence, followed by the subject plus have to and then the base verb. See some examples. Do I have to submit the report today? Yes, you do. No, you don't. Do you have to take an exam? Yes, I do. No, I don't. Does he have to wear a tie to work? Yes, he does. No, he doesn't. Does she have to attend the meeting? Yes, she does. No, she doesn't. Does it have to be fixed immediately? Yes, it does. No, it doesn't. Do we have to leave now? Yes, we do. No, we don't. Do they have to sign the contract? Yes, they do. No, they don't. We can use have to in all tenses, and also with modal auxiliaries. We conjugate it just like any other main verb. Here are some examples. In past simple, I had to work yesterday. In present simple, I have to work today. In future simple, I will have to work tomorrow. In present continuous, she is having to wait. In present perfect, we have had to change the time. With modal verbs, they may have to do it again. Must and have to are both used to express obligation. Often they can be used interchangeably. However, there are some differences in how we use them, and the negative forms mustn't and don't have to are significantly different in their meaning. We use must to express a strong obligation, which is the result of some personal situation. The obligation is also the desire or will of the person speaking. It is not an order coming from someone else. For instance, I'm so tired. I must go to bed earlier. We haven't seen you for ages. You must come and visit us sometime. We also use have to express a strong obligation. When we use have to, this usually means that some external circumstances or person obligates us to do something. For instance, I have to arrive at work at 9 sharp because my boss is very strict. You have to pass your exams with good grades or the university will not accept you. As you can see, the differences between the present forms are sometimes rather subtle. However, there is a big difference between the negative forms. We use mustn't to express strong obligations, not to do something. For example, we mustn't talk about this with anyone else. It's strictly confidential. You mustn't phone me at work. We aren't allowed personal calls. We use don't have to state that there is no obligation or necessity. For instance, we don't have to get there until 7:30. There's no rush. You don't have to come if you don't want to. You can stay here. He's not stressed. He hasn't got to finish the assignment until next Tuesday. In general, have to is more frequent in conversation or spoken English than must. Must is used more in formal writing, especially in written notices, rules, or instructions. Thank you for watching this presentation. Okay, now we know how to make a difference between the use of must and have to. We are going to put it in practice doing our Kahoot.
Okay, the PIN for our game is 6432970 or scan the QR code, please. Thank you so much, all of you. Okay, no one else? Let's start. Okay, on this Kahoot, Maria Fonseca is on the first place, Carla Cruz is on the second place, and Danae is on the third place. Congrats, all of you.